this morning. I apologize. Good Monday morning. Okay, so I want to start with like positive mindset stuff because Rhonda's post this morning really resonated with me. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go peep it out. It literally was, it's really simple. It was just about picking a positive word or affirmation for this morning. It's just a picture of her with some like positive words around her. And I thought, you know what a great message for Monday morning. Let's talk to the team about this too, because I know I woke up a certain way this morning and I wanted to share a little story with you guys about me and my personality and maybe just a little bit of my background with mental health. And I think sometimes the team will look at people like me or Sydney or people in our upline, whatever, and think, wow, they have it, easier, or they've always been this way, or they've always been this motivated, or we just pass judgment. It's easy to do that. And like I've always got it together and I'm always motivated and I have a lot of self-discipline. Yeah, all those things are true, but they take a lot of effort. Most of my life, I guess in my teens, I really didn't understand depression or mental health or anything. It wasn't ever really talked about as much as it is talked about nowadays. And I guess in my teens and stuff, I didn't really ever think much about it. More in my like 20s when I really started to realize, okay, I think I struggle more than most with getting it together or feeling down or having like weeks at a time where I just felt like, ugh, like, do I really have to keep doing this? Like, this seems miserable. I'm miserable. I'm not happy. I don't, certain things would trigger me and then I would be a mess for weeks and not want to go to work and call into jobs that I had because I just didn't want to be there and life just seemed miserable. And then I started to realize, I don't know what it was. I think my dad might have shared a story with me about his growing up and his mom. And then I started to realize that this is hereditary. This is a pattern. And this is something I probably inherited. And I just decided, and I think part of it is the way that I grew up. My father was a chiropractor. I didn't know that he suffered with depression. That's not something you talk about with your kids. I mean, I think it's a little more open now. But he shared some stories with me about, even when we were kids growing up and how him handling some of his depression was not the best or healthiest ways. And some about his mom. And so then I started to realize, okay, this is something that has been passed down to me. How do I want to handle this? And back to dad's a chiropractor. So we always did things in the more like naturopathic way, right? We didn't even take Advil or Tylenol as kids. If you had a headache, you got adjusted, right? So it would be the same way for dealing with depression or anything like that, rather than take meds. And now, mind you, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that if somebody needs medication for handling mental health, that they shouldn't do that. Obviously, there's a place and a time for that for everybody. I think that what I have is a minor, and it is manageable if I take the right steps. And I believe there's probably a lot of people out there in this world that are the same way and lean towards hopping on a medication because that's the easy way out. And really all you're doing is masking symptoms to an underlying problem. That's what most medications are. They're not really solving any issue in your body or mind. They are masking symptoms, making you feel like the problem has gone away. And I knew that at a young age, just because of the way we grew up. So I knew that I didn't want to be on medication for this. That was the last thing I wanted to do. So I started doing my own like testing and research on my own mental health when I was probably in my mid 20s, about surrounding it around exercise and making some decisions first thing in the morning about how I would operate my day. And most of it had to do with exercise. So I think I've shared this a couple of times, but some people are new around here. So are you new here? So I decided that I was allowed to have one bad day. Like if I woke up on a morning and I needed to call into work, or it was a weekend and I needed to stay in bed all day, I would allow myself the grace of having a bad day. But I was not allowed to have two in a row. The second day, no matter how bad I felt, I had to exercise. If I could get out and get a walk for 30 minutes or get on a treadmill or go to the gym or whatever it was, I had to at least commit to 20 minutes, 30 minutes of some form of exercise so that I could shift my brain. And I'm telling you, you guys, that little piece is insignificant as it sounds when you're struggling. It's huge because you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do the things that are hard, because all you want to do is curl up in a ball, put the blanket back over your head, go to bed, and not have to deal with the world today. I just know that that's how it is because I struggled with it for a long time, and I still do to this day. I just refused medication. There was one time I went on medication. It was about a year after I had Luke, and I was really massively struggling with anxiety. Doctors kind of related it back to a little bit of postpartum, but it was a year after. So I didn't really think that was possible until the doctors told me it was. So I went on for like 6 months and then said, okay, I'm through this phase. I've got to handle this on my own. I don't want to take medication forever. So I still to this day go back to my protocol. I also know, and this not necessarily the preachy where I was trying to go this morning, but I also know that alcohol plays a very large role in mental health. And so everybody knows I like a nice, really nice cocktail. Okay, so we're not going to pretend that Jessica doesn't drink by any means. But I do know that alcohol plays a significant role in your mental health. So if you struggle with or have things like anxiety or depression, you're only exacerbating that by a massive scale when you add alcohol into the mix. So again, through my protocol, if I knew that I was having a really bad day, alcohol is cut out for a few days, a week, a month, whatever it needed to be, till I got my head screwed back on straight and I got in some exercise. For me, it's pretty instant. So if I exercise, it increases the endorphins, my mental health gets back in check. I lay off alcohol for a few days or a week, and my brain is back on track and we're feeling good. If you struggle with anything like that, I highly recommend taking a few of those steps. You can only change what you're willing to change. You can only shift what you're willing to shift. So let me relate that back to this morning. I needed to give you some background. So sorry, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I wanted to be transparent with you of the things that I struggle with so that if you're struggling, you know that you're not alone. Okay. We're all going to have bad days. We're all going to struggle to get it together, to work our business, to add in the extra hours that we need when we're working a business, trying to get healthy, trying to get in better shape, and bring on a team of people and then lead and coach them. Right. So that can be a little daunting when you struggle with some mental health stuff. And I don't think there's one person on this planet that never struggles with some mental health stuff at certain points in their life, especially if you're female, because we deal with these crazy, weird hormones that we don't even really have any control over. So here's this morning. I think I woke up for the first time around like 4:30 in the morning. And by no means was I getting up that early. My alarm doesn't go off till 6. But I can tell you, as soon as my eyes popped open, I felt like, okay, I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll get back in bed. I've got an hour and a half. Oh, I got an hour and a half to go back to sleep. But my brain was doing this. Oh my God, it's Monday. I don't today. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like it. I would like to sleep in today. I over analyze the tasks I have on my plate today and make that anxious feeling set in that I don't want to deal with. And so I got back in bed with this pit in my stomach thinking, ew, it's Monday. I don't want to do this. And it's so crazy. Now I am in the habit of knowing what fixes that. No matter, I do give myself a day here and there to have a bad day, but it's very few and far between, because instead of opting for the bad day and letting myself lick my wounds, I opt for the exercise sooner because of the results. So it's pain versus pleasure. Tony Robbins speaks about this all the time. If you're struggling with any habit or bad thing in your personal development arena, pain versus pleasure is a really good way to weigh out what you're doing to yourself. So I can have the pleasure of laying in bed all day and licking my wounds and waste a day, which also creates pain there. Or I can have the pain of getting my ass out of bed, getting down to my gym, or getting out on a walk, or getting to the gym, whatever it is for you. That's painful when you don't want to do it, right? But the pleasure on the other side of that, once it's been accomplished, far outweighs the pleasure of laying in bed and licking my wounds all day and not moving. I have very few days like that anymore because I've chosen what what pleasure is more important than the pain of getting up and doing it, because I know what's on the other side of it now. I know that if I do it, I'm going to feel better. And so that was this morning. I said, I don't really want to get up and go get in the gym this morning. I literally at the brink of tears, you guys, like that's how I felt this morning. So I wanted to share that with you because I know that I'm not the only one that wakes up that way. This is why Thrive will always be a part of my life, no matter what. And I do believe that we're with one of the very best companies because of the product we have. Because I also know that I didn't have Thrive in my 20s when I really was struggling to figure out how to handle this. I sure wish I did, because I probably would have had a whole lot less days where I stayed in the bed licking my wounds. Because even if I have a day where I'm like, all right, I might stay in bed and lick my wounds today and just give myself a day. I'm going to call in. I'm going to just lay here and I'm going to protect my brain. And I'm not saying you don't deserve days like that. There are times you need to do that. It's called self-care. But I take my Thrive capsules and make a decision 20 minutes later. Right. And I'm like, this is what happened this morning. I woke up and felt that way. I got out of bed because I had to make Luke lunch and get him breakfast and all that ready for school. I had taken my capsules, and within 20 minutes, you guys, that whole entire feeling shifted to, oh my God, I can't wait to get down to the gym. Not because, oh my God, I couldn't wait to get down to the gym. It was because, oh my God, I couldn't wait until what my brain was going to feel like 45 minutes later. Right? So I want you to take some inventory sometimes. Give yourself a check on if you're not feeling up to it, business-wise, personal development-wise, your job-wise, your family-wise, all the things that stack up and add up that you have. Do some of those things. Try to incorporate some exercise into your daily routine. The pain of it is going to suck at first. When you start to realize what it feels like on the other side, you will start crushing your days like you have never crushed them before in your life. I promise you. Even if you think you are winning at life, you are going to win 10 times more if you get your mental health in check every morning. And sometimes for some of you, that's going to be every single morning. That's also going to mean you have to check yourself. If you're having a lot of bad days and a lot of mental health issues that are slowing your business down or getting in your way or stalling you out, and you're adding alcohol into the mix, you might need to check that too. You might. And this is across the board. I have to do it for myself. If I know I'm going down a path of, man, I'm a little more anxious than usual, I'm waking up with more mornings where I'm just feeling like I don't wanna, because my brain isn't there, I have to check myself. It means more water, more boost, more healthy things, and less of it's the pain versus pleasure again. Of course, not for everybody, but a good drink soothes the soul. It just does. It makes you relax. It covers up some of that bad. But in the long run, that actually causes more problems for you. Okay, so off of that subject, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about your mindset and where you're at. We launched last Tuesday our double triple promo. I want you to think back to last Tuesday when it first launched, or maybe in the first 48 hours or whatever. Did you decide in your brain that you were going to hit triple? You were going to either double or triple. Did you already decide you were going to hit it? Or did you sit back and go, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. Oh, I just realized my mic is so far away from me. I hope you guys could hear me okay. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I have enough people. I don't know if I have enough time. I have a really busy week this week. The kids have a lot of sports going on, and you counted yourself out of it. I don't have enough people in my funnel. The people I already have enrolled underneath me are probably not going to buy a kit. And did you decide that on day 1 or 2, or do you decide if I'm going to hit this? I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to work night and day. I'm going to send as many messages as possible. I am going to hit this. I want you to think about what you decided. Then I want you to think about what you've decided today, because today is Monday and it ends tomorrow night. And I know how many people have hit triple, right? I know, I want to know what you're thinking. Have you already counted yourself out? Did you think on day 1 or 2, you were like, I'm going to do this? And now you're at the last 2 days of this promo and you're like, I thought I was going to do this. I haven't done it yet. Everybody keeps telling me no. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this now. Have you already given up on that goal? I want you to think about that this morning and think about why you may have given up or given in or decided that you're not going to be able to hit triple. Because some people can do it in 24 hours and you have a lot of hours left in this. Are you talking to enough people? Are you connecting with enough people? Have you offered incentives to your downline and collected the people prior to giving the incentive? We've given you all kinds of strategy. Also, we're coming in hot on month end. I want you to revisit the goal you made on May 1st and see where you're at on that. And have you said to yourself, even if subconsciously, have you said to yourself, wow, the month got away from me. Wow, I had a lot of things happen. Life got in the way. I know I wanted to re-rank at 4K. I know I wanted to get to 12K. I know I wanted to rank up to 40K. And here's where I'm at. I had a couple people quit on me. I had a couple people that just aren't plugging in like they said they would. Susie didn't go for her goals, so it's really disrupted my goal. And I'm not where I wanted to be. So I don't think I'm going to be able to re-rank this month. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up to that 12K this month or that 40K this month. I want you to decide, or not decide. I want you to think about where your mindset is at right now, running into the last 2 days of a promo and the last week of the month, because as of tomorrow, we have 1 week left until we hit month end. And who knows what the promo is going to be over Memorial Weekend. I was going to look that up this morning, what it's been the last couple of years. It's a lot of times buy 2, get 1 free, but we had like a BOGO at the beginning of the month and we just did double, triple. So I have no idea what they're going to do. It could just be free shipping and 15% off or something this weekend. So let's not bank on anything miraculous the last 2 days of the month. Okay. Let's bank on these last 2 days of this promo that we have, because it's what's going to move you the farthest, the fastest for your month end goals. But I just want you to take some inventory of where your mindset is at on your last couple of days of the promo and the last 7 days of the month, last week of the month, and where you are at on your goals. I have some people I can dig down in the cloud office and check out and see where everybody's at, what they're doing. I can even tell really quickly if you've gotten even close to doubling or tripling. And don't let that scare you. I do it because I'm running a business and I am checking on my team at all times to see where they're at and what they're doing and what needs to happen. And I can see people who ranked up to 4K last month or 12K last month, and they have barely any volume this month. And I'm sitting there going, okay, we talked about that being double QV the last 2 months and how that was going to be tough, right? That we needed to prepare ourselves for May not being double QV. And I want to give you guys all a huge pat on the back, because 99% of you understood that message. Because guess what? We do not have double QV this month, and we are ahead in numbers by a good amount. So that means somebody understood the message. If you're finding yourself falling massively short from where you were last month, it's because you did not, or your team did not understand that message. So I want you to really pay attention to things like that. And if overall this team is ahead of where they were last month and we don't have double QV, it means we are moving in the right direction. If your team specifically is not, it's time to do some review of what occurred last month versus this month. Did we slam a bunch of kits in last month because it was double QV and we were just trying to rank up, but then we didn't do the work this month? Did we not drive lines? That was an incredible training Zoom that I did. If you've not done that, ask for it in the chat. We'll go pop it back in there. It was, a couple of weeks ago, about driving lines when you bring somebody new on. If you brought a bunch of new people on in March or April and you drove your numbers up and you're falling very flat this month and you have barely any volume, you did not drive lines and find out who would be good people under those people that you brought on. So you have a really good amount of time left for this promo. You might need to forego Taco Tuesday and margaritas tomorrow night. You might need to forego, some extracurricular activities that you've planned for today and tomorrow. Guess what? I tripled days ago. Ken tripled as of yesterday. We didn't buy anything. We sold it all. I was even going to stock us up on an $800 kit if I had to underneath him, but I didn't even need to, because I worked extremely hard the first 72 hours of this promo and followed up like crazy. So I'm going to go plant flowers today. Okay. How do you want to spend your Monday? How do you want to spend your Tuesday? Like racing because you didn't put the work in on the front end of this. You gave up on yourself. Like, you have only, what's happened in your business in the last, all of May, and only what's happened in your business in the last week since this promo dropped. Now you might have to play catch up the next 2 days because life got in the way, and that's okay. I decided to do it ahead of time so that at the end of this, I could spend my time helping you guys and I could plant flowers in between. I was thinking about that this morning. That's what my live topic is going to be about today. When I go live is about how do you want to spend your Mondays? And guys, all of this subject wraps into my mental health journey. I did not want to ever feel like I used to feel in my 20s and early 30s. No, by my early 30s, I decided I was never working for anybody else again. So my 20s, let's call it my 20s. They were kind of miserable. I partied my ass off. I took care of myself. I always went to the gym because I had to like keep the mental health thing going. But I knew I didn't want to work for anybody else because that was going to play into my mental health big time. Getting up and going to a job for 8 hours, driving an hour there, driving an hour home, and taking up 10 hours of my day, 5-6 days a week was drastically affecting my mental health. And I knew that I could do something about that if I wanted to. It was going to be the working out thing. It was going to be making changes in my health and wellness if I had to. And it was also going to be setting myself up for a lifestyle where I could work from home and choose my own hours. And I knew that way before I ever went into network marketing. So if you are the type of person that wakes up in the morning, you're struggling because you got to go to that job and that alone is messing with your mental health, you got to make some changes and decisions in your schedule and the things that you're doing so that you can have a lifestyle that will assist in your mental health journey and assist in your mental mindset and assist in the things that you're doing. I also don't want you working this business to the point where you're starting to feel like this is affecting your mental health, because I know in network marketing, it can. This is one hell of a roller coaster. It has the highest of highs I've ever seen. And it also can bring you to the lowest of lows. When you're struggling and you're getting no's and you're having people quit on you, it can really mess with your mental health. So I want you to check that too and make sure that we are not assigning all of our success to our downline, our success or failure, assigning that to your next recruit or your downline who's crushing it right now, but then drops off tomorrow because they went to their warm market, all their friends and family crushed it for 30 days and then didn't learn how to do network marketing. So the fallout happens the next month, and then that affects your mental mindset. All of this stuff will mess with how you feel about doing your business on a daily basis. So you want to make sure you're bulletproofing that mindset at all times and just checking in with yourself and saying, okay, what worked this last couple of weeks? What did not work this last couple of weeks? If I am struggling to even re-rank at 4K or get to that number I keep saying I'm going to get to, how is that making me feel on an every single day basis? And what could I do differently that's going to help me get there? I can tell you, you guys, when I wake up earlier and I work out, even though I'm spending an extra, hour down in the gym and an extra hour like showering and getting ready, I actually find way more time in my day than I do if I don't. And I know that mathematically doesn't necessarily make sense, but our product gives you more hours in your day. We tell people that all the time. You know what will assist that? Aiding your product by implementing some exercise and things that will make you feel better. I know that even if I just exercise and I throw my hair in a bun and I walk around the house in like half sweaty, gross clothes all day, I also don't get as much done as if I hop right in the shower, have a couple shower moments, not those. I mean, shower moments where my mental health gets checked and I have some like prayer with God and I get what I call my little downloads of what do I want to do with my day, new ideas for the team. All of that stuff plays into how the rest of my day is going to go. If I get up and I stay in my pajamas all morning, this happened Saturday. Saturday was kind of rainy and gloomy here and icky, and I woke up extra tired and I didn't go down and get in my gym, and I paid for it all day. I was so pissed at myself by the end of the day because I got nothing accomplished. But sometimes, like I said, we got to give ourselves a rest and a break. But I am really hard on myself when I do that because I just know a lot of people counting on me. I have big goals. I have big dreams. I have big stuff I want to accomplish. And spending a whole day laying around just because wasn't necessary for me right now. And I know the difference. So I will ask you to do some self-reflection, figure out how you are spending your time. Are you giving yourself too many breaks? Are you allowing yourself to have those mornings where you end up in your pajamas until noon or 1 o'clock? I mean, we kind of joke around how we can work however we want in our yoga pants and, not brush our teeth till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But in all reality do you think that the successful people that we call at the top of the pyramid are doing that? I had a really great conversation, I had a really great conversation with Kelly Hawkins' son, Tyler. He's in his first year of college, extremely brilliant kid, got a gaming scholarship. Who gets gaming scholarships? I used to tease my son all the time. You can't have a career in that. No one's going to pay you to go to school for that. Well, Tyler proved us wrong. So brilliant kid, but he wanted to ask a question. We were all sitting around the pool a couple of weekends ago, and he's like, so I just don't really quite understand this, network marketing thing. It really does seem like a pyramid scheme to me. And so we had a really great conversation around the pool with Tyler, who's just 18, 19 and in his first year of college. And so I got to express to him and explain to him what network marketing really is. And we compared it obviously to some of the things in corporate America and all of that. And he said, well, it just seems like, all the people at the top just get to collect paychecks and get, and get all of the good stuff. And then you got all these people at the bottom that they're working super hard and are supplying all. So Tyler had been misled by mainstream. Okay. That's not the reason for me bringing this up. My reason for bringing this up is I had to tell Tyler that I almost would guarantee he could do the research and ask and interview every person on this team, but I could almost guarantee that me at the top of this team works harder than any person on this team. And that debunked his entire theory. So I bring that up because if you're spending time in your PJs, but you want to be at the top, or you're spending time on the wrong things and you want to be at the top, and you're not prioritizing your day and you want to be at the top, you're not checking your mental health and you want to be at the top, you're making excuses, but you want to be at the top, you are not taking care of your mental mindset on an every single day basis, but you want to be at the top, you're giving yourself too many excuses and too many days off and you want to be at the top. You are getting a promo like double, triple and deciding that you are out in the first 48 hours or deciding that you are in the first 48 hours, but then not doing what you're supposed to do. And then deciding on the last 2 days that you've already outed yourself. Those are all the things that you need to make decisions about if you want to be at the top. Are you producing at the top type behavior? And are you protecting your mental health and your mindset and your energy on an every single day basis like somebody at the top will do? Are you choosing the hard things first thing in the morning when you're rolling around thinking about how your day is going to go? Or are you choosing the easy way out? The people at the top choose the hard every single time. I promise you. It is so easy to choose easy. That's why it's called easy. But successful people in every realm never choose the easy. So there's a couple of things I wanted you guys to understand this morning. Mental health is a real thing. We all go through it. It's the choices we make about it that determine the outcome at the end of it. We can suffer in it, sulk in it, and do nothing about it, mask it, pretend it's not there, move around it, do nothing about it. And I promise you, getting to the top is probably never going to happen. Or we can choose to do something about it, tackle it, meet it head on, leave no excuses, stop pretending it's not there, stop masking it with bad behaviors, and start doing all of the right things to get yourself to where you want to go. Life is hard. It's freaking hard, especially right now. That doesn't give you the excuse to just be ho-hum if you want to be at the top. So let's all go do some self-exploration today. Decide if you're struggling, what's the plan? What is your plan? To stay that way? If we're struggling to get to the next rank, what's your plan? You're just going to stay that way? Or are you going to choose to do something about it and shift some things in your life that will aid in the success of you getting to, let's call it the top, whatever that success means for you. I made a post yesterday right before I walked into church that was, the new success for me is peace. I've achieved a lot of the things I want. I will never stop because there's always more. For me, there's always more. But the new success for me is peace. Peace with a big capital P. And so that all has to tie back into my mental health too. But if you've never read the book, Eat That Frog, and then I'll hop off of here because I'm after 9 o'clock. If you've never read the book, Eat That Frog, it is a really short, easy read. It's all about tackling hard things first thing in the morning so that you can give your freaking brain a rest, you guys. Do you know how long you will wrap your brain up on all the tasks that you have to do because you just don't want to do the harder things first thing? Get the hard things off your plate first thing. Do you know what that will do for your brain for the rest of the day? It will explode. You will have massive success. So if you haven't read that book and you need some assistance with that, go grab that book. It's called Eat That Frog. It's about doing the hard things first. So you can, great saying, I'd say it to Luke all the time, you can pay now and play later, or you can play now and pay later. Do you know what play now and pay later does to your brain? Puts you in a rabbit hole of depression, depressive feelings, lack of self-worth, beating yourself up for not getting the shit done that you should have gotten done. Playing now and paying later is probably 99% of most people's problems. And by playing, I mean laying around in your PJs watching Netflix in the morning or in the afternoon or whenever. Okay. So just make some decisions. I hope you haven't counted yourself out for this promo. We have 2 whole days. Let's go crush it. If you need help, reach out. I hope you have not counted yourself out for your rank or re-rank for the month. We've had people go 4K in 4 days on this team, or probably less. So please don't count yourself out. Take some massive action, make a plan, and figure out how you want the rest of this month to go, okay? I love you guys. I hope you have a magnificent Monday, okay? Oh, and one last thing, Rhonda's post. I want you guys to go pick a word. I want you to pick a word for the week, a motivational, positive word, and I want you to post about it today. I want you to tell everybody the word you picked, why you picked it, and how you're going to run your week based on that word, okay? That was my little homework assignment. I should have said it sooner before some people hopped off, so we can share that in the chat too. I hope you guys have a magnificent Monday.